I'm Chris Moore, I'm 32 and I'm a civil engineer with Sydney Water. I plan water supply systems. I look at water mains, pipelines, pumping stations, reservoirs, and I plan and design all of this infrastructure. I'm involved in strategic planning, all of our assets, how they operate, how they're maintained, how system failures like power outages or burst water mains impact the risk of the system. And we try and pinpoint in the system where we need to fix problems first, prioritise them, then we roll out a program of capital works to fix the problems. I'm also involved in planning recycled water systems. I'm involved in going to conferences, which are interstate or overseas, and also preparing conference papers on best practices in water supply, planning and design. So it's good fun. The recycled water systems have only been new to Australia in the last 10 years or so, and things like the peaking factors used for maximum demand and maximum hour demand for reservoirs, pipelines, pumping stations, we have to get those numbers correct. Otherwise, if we go and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on capital works, it'll all be designed wrong. So some of my roles at the moment are actually going out and measuring, flow metering areas in recycled water systems and using that data to filter back into design criteria which are used by other planners. I had an interest in things like geography, landline. I watched that program for a number of years, and my family came from the country, so they always talked about drought and rivers and dams and that sort of thing. And I took up a civil engineering degree at the University of Western Sydney, and I won a position in Sydney Water graduate program. And I've been able to rotate through a number of positions which the program offers. And I was able to get hands-on experience, which was really great, and it lays a foundation for understanding how a water supply system works. And where I am now, I use all of that experience. The social and community benefits of water supplies, planning and design are actually quite critical, because without water, we wouldn't have a city and we wouldn't have an economy. Advice to a young person would be, it's important to get educated in engineering, understanding hydraulics, but I really think it's important to actually go out into the field and get hands-on experience. Sydney Water actually offers industrial experience for people still going through university or TAFE. I think there's cadetships, traineeships, apprenticeships as well. So Sydney Water covers quite a broad scope and offers a great variety to get your feet wet. The demand for civil engineers at the moment is actually very high and will increase across our whole country. We're going through drought, dam levels are low, and the importance of putting in rainwater tanks, recycled water systems and desalination plants across most of our cities now have been constructed. And we need engineers because they've got the fundamentals of understanding mathematics and physics and how to plan and design water supply systems. My hobbies include playing touch footy, love footy, tipping competitions at work because it's important that release the stress as such and go out and do some exercise. The hot one. It's all fun, it's great. During a large burst water main, usually we have maintenance crews that attend to the break. They turn the water off and they'll bring other crews over and they'll bring spare pipes and install the spare pipes. And we try to do that as quickly as possible. But on the outer, you have operations people who are actually watching the network of reservoirs, which ones are depleting rapidly, and they actually implement contingency plans to shift water around the system. And they use a telemetry system and hydraulic models to work out how to make that work so the system doesn't fall over. Looking at things that I individually have planned are now sort of coming to fruition in the field, and you can go out on site and see, well, I planned and designed that reservoir or pipeline or infrastructure. So it's quite a buzz. I find that my interests in geography, water and the drought is exactly what I'm doing in my job, and I'm at the forefront of that. And the team that I work with, we're leading the way. And it's great.